Hi, welcome to Arbitrary 20, and today we're going to be talking about 3 multi-class builds. So for my build, it's going to be kind of like a sleuth or detective type style build. And it's going to be more for roleplay than actual like combat stuff. This is not optimized for combat.
Okay.
We're going to start as a level 1 cleric, and by the end of this, you're going to be a level 6 cleric and a level 14 rogue. And some things to take note here: at level 1 as a cleric, you should take the knowledge domain. And for your roguish archetype, you should take the inquisitive archetype. And that's pretty much it.
What did you get as a 6th level knowledge cleric? Like the specific thing that you're getting as a sleuth?
You would be getting let me get a second. So at level 6, you get a Channel Divinity Read Thoughts, which is cool because the whole part of this build would be trying to gain knowledge about things and trying to investigate stuff, gain insight on stuff like that. So I figured this would be kind of cool because it gives you the ability to read thoughts, and you also get like the suggestion spell. So pretty sauce.
Yeah, that actually makes sense, to be honest. Like if you're a detective or you're like a more mystery themed.
So you tried to make like a
campaign.
James Bond kind of character. Sort of.
Kind of, yeah, like
almost like Sherlock Holmes, but sneakier.
More like Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
Which makes sense,
yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Like, you just go around just detecting people's thoughts as a cleric, and then, I mean, you could pose as a worshiper of any god at that point, right? Like,
truly.
because like clerics can get into most things in that instance. So, I think it's cool. What does the Inquisitor Rogue get?
You get a bunch of different things. At level 3, you get a thing called Eye for Detail, which is as a bonus action, you can make a Wisdom perception check to spot hidden creatures or objects, or make an Intelligence investigation check to decipher clues. At level 3, you get Insightful Fighting, which is basically where you can do an insight check on the creature, which will be contested against their Charisma Deception check, and if you succeed, you can use your sneak attack on them, even if you don't have advantage.
Oh.
So it's like free advantage, basically, or like
That's pretty cool.
free triggering.
Yeah. Free sneak attack triggering.
Level 9, you get advantage on perception and investigation checks if you move no more than half your speed on a turn. And at level 13, which would be the end of this subclass for this particular build, you get to sense presence of illusions, shape changers, and other magic designed to deceive the senses within 30 feet of you if not blinded or deafened. So,
you know, when you originally pitched this, I was like, I have no idea where you're going to go with this, but this makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Like, as a combination together, yeah.
So I probably should have prefaced this, but where I got this idea from is I saw the Inquisitive subclass for Rogue, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool, like if you made like a detective build. But I was like, how would you do that? And I was like, well, knowledge clerics can do stuff like this, like read thoughts, and you get at level 2 you get Knowledge of the Ages, which is basically like you get a free skill if you use the Channel Divinity. Like, not free skill, but you as an action you choose one skill or tool, and then you have proficiency with that skill or tool for 10 minutes.
Okay, so you're like, okay.
So like, you know things.
You're kind of like a jack of all trades at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. I like it, actually. More roleplay reasons, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know how it would work in combat. I mean, it's still just a rogue. But
Combat,
it's like a slightly nerfed rogue, but
take
yeah.
what you want.
Yeah.
It could also be interesting, instead of the cleric, to do a aberrant mind sorcerer. They get detect thoughts for free from their psionic spells, and then they also get telepathic speech.
Which does what?
You can speak through mental, like your mind.
Yeah, without anyone else
pretty
here.
sick.
Yeah. If you went 10th level cleric, you could get the Channel Divinity, the Cosmic Brain, right? So you could just ask a god like a question in your investigation. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, which wouldn't be bad. I mean,
Which wouldn't be bad.
I feel like it'd be kind of cheating as a detective. You're like,
Hey,
Just
you're
go
the
ask a god,
detective.
yeah.
You want to solve it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She'd be like, who actually murdered this person? Just ask your god or something.
God's like, I did see it happen.
Yeah.
And
I
it's,
see all.
It's funny how that works, but like, yeah, it's that dude over there.
I think it'd be funny. You're like in the middle of a crime scene or whatever. You're role playing. You channel divinity, and you see this like holy energy hit you, and you're like, I just had a big thought. Like you can just try and play it off. Like you just came up to the conclusion yourself. And
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
that's my build.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, for my build, I've been bugging John about this for probably months because I want to play this. So it's a druid wizard. Mostly the way I'm thinking about it is you go level 2 druid and hopefully get to level 6 wizard. So you take Circle of the Moon as your druid circle and then go Bladesong Wizard as your school. The main thing combos with the fact that Bladesong can actually apply while you're wild shaped. So I was thinking the best thing to do would be to turn into a direwolf because they have pack tactics. Usually the most HP and they can knock people prone. So generalized concept in combat would be like probably cast major armor on yourself and then before the fight, and then if you're at level 6 wizard at that point, then you cast haste on yourself and then bonus action blade song. So this will raise your AC by whatever your intelligence modifier is, and then you also get bonus constitution saving throws to your intelligence modifier.
And you get 10 more speed.
You get 10 more speed and advantage on dexterity checks. Specifically
Acrobatics.
Yeah. And then next turn you can bonus action because you're a Circle of the Moon druid, turn into a direwolf, who has, depending on your intelligence modifier, probably around 19 AC. It's going to be 15 plus intelligence modifier.
Plus haste.
Plus haste, plus 2, so probably 21. So you have advantage. I think it's, let me see really quick. You have 37 effective hit points as wild shaped as a direwolf. So that's kind of free-ish, I guess I would count it. And then advantage on hitting people. If you knock them prone, it's a strength saving throw for them to be knocked prone, and you get to attack twice because the Blade Singing Wizard gives you an extra attack at level 5 or level 6 wizard. So it's pretty good, and then you get your hasted action as well to attack. So you just start.
So be a direwolf with a 21 AC and 3 attacks.
Yeah. You just start biting the entire world, and you have let me see, 60 movement doubled, so 120 movement hasted. So you fly around the map.
Chef's kiss, dude.
I've just been wanting to play a druid that's like solely focused on wild shape. That is like the strongest wild shape possible. So that was the thing I was thinking about. Obviously, besides going like full level 10 druid as an elemental. But I thought this was cool. You could probably ask your DM if you wanted to get away with it, but you could take the dual wielder feat.
And you're dual wielding your claws.
It specifies you get +1 to AC while you're wearing separate melee weapons.
That's probably DM discretion.
I looked it up. Natural weapons are melee weapons. So you're wearing 2 different claws in your hand.
So you could potentially get it to be 22 AC.
Yeah. Another thing I thought would be cool roleplay wise, and I was hoping to maybe do at some point in a campaign, is you start off as a druid who probably has a low intelligence because it would be a dumb stat. And if your DM is very nice, you can get a Mask of Intelligence, which automatically sets your intelligence to 19. So it'd be your pretty much your item for most of the game. And the cool thing about Wild Shape is your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, I believe, actually apply to your Wild Shape form.
Yeah, they do. You keep your mental stats.
Yeah. So I've been wanting to play this for so long. I've been thinking about this for a while.
I can see why. It's actually really fun.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Obviously, probably after level 6, or level 8, I guess, it gets worse. I would say the strongest is when you're level 4, when you're a level 2 Moon Druid and a level 2 Wizard, because you have the Blade Song plus the Circle of the Moon, and that's just like the strongest you'll probably be, so you get the haste and the extra attack. But, I mean, most campaigns don't last very long, so I just thought it'd be a cool combo.
That's really sick. That's cool. I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
Yeah. People do the same stuff with bears, but bears, because your action is an attack, is a multi-attack, you don't benefit from extra attack, if that makes sense. So direwolf would be one of the best ones to benefit from an extra attack at level 6 blitz and wizard.
I think it's cool that, like, at least to me, how it sounds with your build is that you're kind of targeting movement and AC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is true, but I kind of feel like AC and movement speed are kind of things that people just kind of put on the back burner on things. Like, it's like, I want big damage or attacking a lot or lots of spells. I think it's cool that you kind of optimized movement and things, because I think they're kind of underrated. They could really change the game, you know, if you don't get hit or if you can move a far distance. So
You could potentially even turn this into a tank character depending on the creature you go with.
Yeah.
The direwolf would obviously be like the most damage.
Yeah, there are some that would have better HP the higher you go, but I just thought it was cool because there's not very many ways to alter your wild shape form that I found besides this. Another cool thing, because you retain your racial bonuses, is you can take Kalishtar, so you can automatically telepathically communicate with people through your wild shape. So
telepath.
So you can
Yeah.
still speak to people.
yeah, because usually you're going to be in an animal form, so your speaking is limited. So as far as I know, you can still speak to people telepathically, which is kind of nice. So it's like taking wild shape, which has some downsides, and I'm trying to make it as strong as possible. I just love druids. So.
Druids are sick.
Yeah.
Druids are super cool.
The only other way I could think about taking the build is just level 2 wizard and then druid all the way and just concentrate on like conjure animals.
Conjure animals and then turning into that would not be bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad. So
You could do that at level 11 because you'd only need 3 more levels beyond that. So you could still scale somewhat well. Yeah. Yeah, my multi-class I chose for this was a Sorlock or a Sorcerer Warlock. I'd recommend you start Sorcerer, then take 2 to 3 levels of Warlock. Depending on what character you're playing, you may only need 2. And then just take the rest in Sorcerer to maximize sorcery points and full caster spell slots. There's a ton of different builds you can do with this, but I think one of the coolest combos that this has is what's known as the coffee lock. Say you're empty on both your Warlock and your Sorcerer spell slots, you can take a short rest, which would recharge your Warlock spell slots, and then you can turn those into sorcery points, and then use those sorcery points to refuel your Sorcerer spell slots. And then you can just take multiple short rests and keep doing this until you're maxed out. So you can get what for most people is a long rest and 2 to 3 short rests.
I mean, about roleplay wise, it'd be kind of funny just to play like a character that just constantly falls asleep, but you're just doing it to refill spells. Like, guys, I need a really quick rest. You just go rest in the corner really quick, so it'd be fun.
So there's tons of ways you can do this. You can do any Warlock subclass and any Sorcerer subclass. Most people usually take Hexblade for the Warlock subclass, but a lot of the other options are good as well. One of my favorites is the Cheese Grater Sorlock. So you can, this really works with just the Warlock levels. You can take Dow Genie Warlock and pick up Spike Growth, and then pick up the Repelling and Grasp of Hadar, Repelling Blast and Grasp of Hadar, and then you can Mega Spike Growth and drag them across it. And you have huge potential for burst damage with a build like this, because you can Eldritch Blast and then Quicken Spell either another spell or another Eldritch Blast. And if you're level 11, you have like 6 beams in one turn. And then, yeah, it gets crazy pretty fast.
It's just funny because every build video or every build topic you and I talk about always ends in us talking about Cheese Grater. It makes me laugh every time.
There's so many cool characters you
like,
can do that with.
You're like, why would I do this when I could just cheese grade people? I'm like, I guess. I mean, you're not wrong.
Spike Growth is very good.
Yeah, Spike Growth is the most broken thing.
On top of the fact that you can force movement, do damage to them, it's also difficult terrain, so it's hard for them to get out of.
Yeah. And then once they get out of it, you just Eldritch Blast and just push it back into it, so it doesn't matter. Oh. I don't think I've ever seen a multiclass with you multiclassing sorcerer. So
Yeah, it's pretty
Yes, I
uncommon.
am notorious for like strictly using sorcerer. What can I
Every
say, man?
multiclass you've ever pitched has been a sorcerer.
Meta magic is just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Meta magic with the way it interacts with spell slots is really cool. So
Your build's just cool. Like it's just
his is very generic. He's like sorcerer warlock. Here's some cool stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it is generic in
He's already
like-
showed me 2 different ones that you could do sorcerer warlock like build wise.
well, it's cool, but it's the features that come out of it. Like I think probably one of the coolest things is the coffee. What do you call it?
Coffee
Coffee lock.
lock?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like the Goodberry. What do you call it?
Goodberry juggling.
Yeah, Goodberry juggling. Like it's dumb, but it's cool that you can do it because it makes you better with like very little consequence, which is what makes it so good.
Yeah.
So
Just part of
that's
the
probably
class.
my favorite part of your build. Like the cheese grater is cool, but I really like the coffee lock. So I don't know. I just think it's sick. Like the fact that you'd be like, I'm gonna go take a nap real quick, and then you just boop boop done, and then you like, oh, I'm kind of sleepy again. I didn't get enough rest. So you go back and do another one.
You're not a 1 hour napper. You're
Well,
a 2 hour
yeah,
napper.
you know,
at that point.
And with the combination of like your friend's catnap spell, having
Yeah.
a 10-minute short rest, then you
Yeah.
could have an hour and 10 minutes, and you're back ready to go.
Yeah.
This
This is also probably the best. You could get like 1,000 good berries doing this, right? Like this is the most effective good berry use. with
Yeah, if you
Strixhaven
had
back then.
the Strixhaven background to get Goodberry, yeah, this is.
This is speedrunning.
You're just a
Goodberry
farmer
percent.
at that point. You just like
Yeah.
someone catnaps
Well,
you.
with any sorcerer, so you can with any sorcerer you can cast the more first level spells than anybody else can because you can like with sorcery points you can downscale all of your 2nd to 5th slots into first level slots and then just keep pumping whatever first level spell out. Yeah.
Good berry. Yeah. There's just a lot of combos with that. Yeah.
But yeah, another cool build I recently came up with, I called it the Holy Sorlock. It's a Celestial Warlock Divine Soul Sorcerer. Its main sort of combo is a Spirit Guardians plus, it's similar to the Cheese Grater, but it's a Spirit Guardians plus the Grasp of Hadar. So you can force movement, pull people into your Spirit Guardians, making them take the damage twice. And it also has a ton of cool healing possibilities with the Celestial Warlock. If you want to check that out, you can see that right here.